People live in a futuristic metropolis of night, where cyber implants are updated regularly. David Martinez is an underprivileged high school kid in the Dominion Republic in Night City. After connecting with a hacker named Lucy, he joins an underworld group of gangsters known as Cyberpunks, who are more than willing to have him on their side because of his abilities. However, the more cyberware people add to their bodies, the more powerful they become, and the bigger the chance they'll fall into a state of cyberpsychosis. But David believes that he is different. David has achieved a fortune in a short amount of time, but has no idea what to do with his money other than continue running. On behalf of Maine, the boss of Cyberpunks, David picks up a box from Aldo. Aldo asks David about clefting Arasaka. David then brings it to Pillar's home. A pair of golden, armor-plated cybernetic hands are present in the package. David learns that Rebecca is Pillar's younger sister. When he arrives at Pillar's home, Rebecca tries to flirt with David, but he ignores her. When he is leaving, David gets a call from Lucy, wondering if he's free tonight. David receives training and instruction from his other gang members because he is the recruit. Upon meeting Lucy, David learns that Maine bullies her for accepting David onto the crew. Maine requests that he tuck David in. Lucy makes David jog with her at night to build stamina. David learns of Lucy's talent as a net runner while running, but he is otherwise unaware of her past. Maine and David chat while sitting. Maine initially provides David with a rifle and advises him to keep it nearby as backup, since he can't always rely on the Sandevistan. David learns how to shoot from Rebecca through target practice. On the one side, Rebecca is a skilled target shooter, but when David is given the opportunity, he cannot shoot due to memories of his mother's passing. David learns how to drive a car from Maine. However, when David inquires about Lucy's age, she replies that only gongs communicate with one another according to age. David tells Maine about Lucy after being prodded. David likes Lucy, but he knows she doesn't share his sentiments. David is likewise struggling with the decision of whether or not to trust Lucy. Maine is surprised when David informs him that Lucy has never told him or any other gang members that she wishes to visit the moon. Maine advises David to confront Lucy about it and determine whether or not she is telling the truth. David receives assistance from the Ripper Doctor to get some cutting-edge cyber technology inserted into his spine. His body accepts the augmented technology, unlike most others, and as a result, he can now move during pause time and space for others. David does several jobs with his gang, besides attending lessons and training. The Maelstrom gang is involved in human trafficking, as David and the company rescue all the victims. He saves Rebecca from a different adversary. Then David helps his gang take down a team of scavengers. When everyone leaves a bar one day to head home, Pillar spots a homeless man urinating on the street, and it begins to bother him. When Pillar notices that the homeless man has a cybernetic dick, he starts making fun of him. Sadly, it transpires that the homeless man has cyberpsychosis and unexpectedly shoots Pillar to death with a concealed weapon. Rebecca, Pillar's sister, becomes enraged and begins shooting the cyberpsycho. Maine works to prevent Rebecca. David uses Sandevistan to kill the cyberpsycho when he targets Lucy. The cyberpsycho gets up and raises his gun to David as David asks Lucy if she is okay. Maine steps in and decapitates him. Rebecca shoots cyberpsycho in the head. Maine and Kiwi stay behind and deal with the mess created by the cyber psycho, while David takes Lucy to dock. Lucy is bleeding after the gang takes care of the cyber psycho. David drives Lucy to her home, where they talk. Lucy tells David that her dream of going to the moon is genuine. She reveals that she used to be part of a unique team of Arasaka net runners, raised and trained to delve into the old net to recover lost data. Eventually, Lucy was able to escape Arasaka and ended up in Night City. She also admits that while she used to worry only about herself, she is now more worried about David's health. Later, while looking into data regarding a test subject that had inexplicably vanished from Tanaka's archives, Lucy kills an Arasaka agent. David assures Lucy that he will take her to the moon one day. Finally, David and Lucy share a kiss. David agrees when Lucy asks him to pledge that he won't die for her. David requests Maine's cyber implantation, and Rebecca allows him to use Pillar's cybernetic hands. The the Edgerunners are looking for further information about Tanaka. After taking a VR bath, Kiwi sits down next to David and Maine on a couch, almost nothing on, but acting completely non-sexually. Maine and Kiwi discovered during their investigation that David was an A student and used to study at Arasaka Academy with Tanaka's kid. Maine finds this amusing, since it explains why Gloria was never without eddies. Kiwi learns that Tanaka consumes illegal brain dance BDs made by JK in secret. When David first hears the acronym JK, he immediately recognizes it and informs the group that JK is Jimmy Kurosaki's handle. Famous BD director Jimmy Kurosaki creates unique BDs for specific customers, including Tanaka. To surprise Tanaka, the group intends to abduct JK. David approaches JK as a fan and continues to converse with him, keeping JK preoccupied, so Maine catches JK from behind. Unfortunately, JK uses his cybernetics to cripple Maine and David. Kiwi pukes out the window of Dorio's car after JK disables David and Maine. After taking David hostage, JK leaves the area. When Lucy learns that JK has taken David hostage, she and Dorio start pursuing JK. JK gives David a terrible BD at his house to make him a cyber psycho. In the BD, David is made to kill several police officers before killing himself. JK produces terrifying brain dance that appeals to audiences through gore and sadism. These include exploiting actual killings and cyber psycho rampages. JK points out that cybernetics eventually destroy edgerunners unless they die first. David refuses to believe this and insists that he will be fine. David wakes up from his BD and returns to reality after being arrested and killed in the BD. James Norris gave the same BD to a cyber psycho who then killed 27 police officers before being arrested. JK informs David that James Norris was knowledgeable of the effects of the Sandevistan implant had on his body. However, James continued to act cyber psycho, which led to his arrest and subsequent death. JK informs David that he has studied Sandevistan users for a considerable time and that there are only two possible outcomes. Either these people develop cyber-psychiatric disorders or pass away. JK insists that this is true for all who install numerous cybernetics and that Sandevistan will eventually destroy David's mind. As JK is about to subject David to another traumatic BD, Lucy and Dorio arrive. Dorio captures JK and Lucy hacks into the BD and saves David from going through another traumatic BD. JK's two bulletproof cyber drones try to stop the gang, but David uses the Sandevistan to distract the drones while Lucy also hacks them. Here, JK is impressed by how quickly Lucy hacks the two cyber drones. In the end, JK has no choice but to help the gang lure out Tanaka. Before Tanaka arrives, JK warns David that Sandevistan will eventually turn him into a cyber psycho. Tanaka shows up to meet JK. Tanaka begins shooting at the group as soon as he sees them encircling him. He struggles to defeat Maine and David. One of the iron darts shot into JK's throat during the crossfire causes him to suffocate, killing him. Tanaka is forced to leave the area with the group as soon as they learn that the trauma team is on the way, and David is left worried by JK's words. Maine is beginning to develop signs of cyber psychosis, with a fragment of Maine's past, a glance into his younger days as he found himself running until the end of a long road. The group takes on the job assigned by Faraday of extracting information from a man named Tanaka, who is the father of the guy who used to bully David. Kiwi breaks into his mind security system, which is called ICE. The process involves submerging Kiwi in a tub of ice water, utterly naked, while connecting her to the host's mind while she's under, and he accidentally attacks Kiwi, rendering her unable to continue the operation. Maine is arguing with Dorio about his condition, and suddenly it's daytime. Lucy agrees to take her place, but Lucy has two conditions that are: 1. Lucy doesn't want Maine to be in the same room when she is hacking into Tanaka's cyber war, and 2. She wants David to accompany her and be with her when she is hacking. Lucy takes Kiwi's spot, with David supervising her dive into Tanaka's mind. Maine and Dorio take on the hordes of security personnel. The whole exercise quickly goes sideways. Lucy dives into Tanaka's mind, but after a while, Tanaka regains consciousness. Tanaka sees that David is present in the room and asks him to let him go. Tanaka reveals to David that he was the one who asked the principal of Arasaka Academy to call David and cancel his expulsion from the school. As Tanaka talks to David, Lucy senses the glitches within Tanaka's cyber war. The glitches happen when a person is not unconscious. Tanaka tries to convince David that he still has a future if he returns to the academy. He also warns David that the Edgerunners will kill him after extracting the information to tie loose ends. Dorio arrives with Maine at the right time and safely disconnects Lucy from Tanaka's cyber war. However, the jammers they place on Tanaka are disabled, sending Tanaka's vitals to the trauma team. The break in the connection somehow alerts the security forces to converge at the gang's headquarters. The trauma team and the Night City Police Department are on their way. Maine decides to split up. David and Lucy go to the escape vehicle, while Maine and Dorio take Tanaka to distract the authorities. Lucy and David make it safely to the escape vehicle. Lucy asks David about Tanaka, to which David says that he is alive. Lucy tells him that there is no data in Tanaka's mind. Soon, the Night City Police Department arrives, and Maine and Dorio fight with them. David insists on going out from the escape vehicle, but Lucy tells him that she also receives signals from the trauma team. If David moves out, it will just end in death. Maine begins to succumb to his cyberpsychosis and accidentally shoots Dorio, who was trying to protect him. After that, the Night City Police Department surrounds Maine and confirms the death of Dorio. Maine realizes his fault and attacks the officers. When the Night City Police Department detects cyberpsychosis, they try to escape from that place. Trauma Team, the same corrupt group that left David's mother to die, get blown out of the sky after they attempted to leave the cops to their fate. David uses the Sandevistan to get to the battlefield as quickly as possible, and when he gets there, he discovers that Maine accidentally killed Dorio. David tries to rescue Maine. Maine, at this moment covered in blood, ceasing to care about the well-being of his hostage and even using their corpse as a weapon. Maine, repentant, blows himself up along with Dorio's corpse. David continues to Borg himself up due to Maine's advice to do so, despite Maine being driven to suicide by his cyberpsychosis. Meanwhile, David returns to Lucy in their escape vehicle with Maine's arms. Maine and Dorio die in battle, while Lucy and David barely make it out of there alive. Thanks for watching my anime recap. If you liked it, subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon so you don't miss any videos. Leave a comment and let me know what you thought of the recap. I hope to see you all in part 3 of the series.